I think Stranger Things has the best characters in all of television. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite Stranger Things character arcs over the course of the entire show. So basically how well a character has been written from season 1 to season 4 and the journey that they've gone on, essentially. But before I get into this list, make sure to hit that like button, comment down below your favorite character arcs in Stranger Things, and make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, as I've got a lot of Stranger Things videos coming soon. So coming at number 10 for me is going to be Nancy Wheeler, a really well-written character who at the beginning, she's very smart and very strict on academics and being a great student, and then Steve Harrington enters the picture and kind of changes all of that. Over the course of the season, she's kind of matured a little bit. She's always been a badass and she's willing to stick up for those around her. She's not afraid to take on the monster in every single season, and we see that more and more to the point where in season 4, she's leading the charge against Vecna, blasting him with some shotgun rounds, which is just awesome to see. And I think in season 5, she's probably going to end up being more independent and breaking up with Jonathan, and maybe not ending up with Jonathan or Steve. She's had a really solid arc over the seasons. Number 9 on my list is going to be Dustin Henderson. He's been lovable since day one. He's had that charm since day one, but I think season 4 is by far his strongest moment for his character arc and his development, as he really lost his brother essentially in Eddie Munson, and we see that after as he goes and talks to Eddie's uncle and breaks down, tells him Eddie was a hero and all these different things and reassured that of him. He's courageous and he's very strong moving forward into season 5. He's always had the brains and had great ideas, but in season 4 he really takes on a leadership role that I was a huge fan of, and I'm really proud of Dustin. I feel like he's like a little brother to me almost, and I hope that he never changes just like Eddie tells him. Number 8 on my list is going to be Lucas Sinclair, a character who's hopped up my character ranking quite a bit since season 1. I really like what they do with him in season 4, as at the very beginning he's sort of on the fence, trying to fit in as a basketball player while also trying to be a part of the Hellfire Club, trying to balance too many relationships at once, but ultimately he always stays by his friend's side and he's always there for Max because he's a damn great boyfriend to her. I love seeing how loyal Lucas is over the course of the 4 seasons, and that is on display at its highest in season 4, as he is always there for his friends, and again, he never leaves Max's side, and he never will because he's just a great guy. Number 7 on my list is going to be Joyce Byers, probably the mother of Stranger Things. Maybe Steve, who's to say. But Joyce Byers has been through hell, and we've seen that over the course of the seasons. In season 1, Will went to the Upside Down and she was just losing it trying to find her son, but she does whatever it takes because she's a great mother. In season 2, she's trying to save Will yet again, and she loses Bob along the way, which is just absolutely a gut punch. And in season 3, she essentially loses Hopper until she realizes he's alive in season 4, but she's been through the ringer. But through adversity, she's persistent, she tries to maintain positive, and now it seems like she's going to be happy for a little bit at least. I'm sure the Duffer Brothers will rip our hearts out because she is now with Hopper, and hopefully they both stay alive and live happily and get their date at Enzo's, but only time will tell. Number 6 on my list is actually going to be Vecna, the best villain in all of Stranger Things, and the reason they're on this list is because in season 4, we get so much backstory on Henry Creel /01 / Vecna, all the same person, that it makes him a really compelling villain. He realized he has this power as a kid, and then the whole Brenner situation with Brenner kind of prodding him like a lab rat, it's a messed up situation. And then of course 11 sends him to the Upside Down, and he's just ruminating on this anger and hatred, trying to get back at 11, and essentially he's just fueled by hatred. He's a great villain, he's the endgame villain for Stranger Things, and season 4 really set him up to be a presence as we move into that final season of the show. So that's why he's on this list, because he's so well written as a villain that so far through one season I buy into him so much as a powerful villain. Number 5 on my list is going to be Eddie Munson, R.I.P. Eddie, gone too soon, Justice for Eddie. By the way, you can pick up a Justice for Eddie t-shirt at my merch store, link down below. But Eddie Munson is one of those characters who was introduced in season 4 and instantly stole all of our hearts. We love the guy. He had a perfect arc, and that's why he's on this list, because at the beginning he's kind of this outcast who doesn't really fit in with the popular kids. He's the leader of the Hellfire Club. He's standing on the lunch table. People are calling him freaks. So at a surface level, people are judging Eddie, but then over the course of the season, we really get to know him. He has such a kind heart. He cares deeply about his friends and always looks for the best in people. We see that in the conversation he has with Chrissy. We see that with his relationship with Dustin multiple times throughout the course of the season. And they always kind of plant the seeds for how he's always one to run from confrontation or run from danger, essentially. And he has a great conversation with Steve where he's like, hey, I only came here because Robin and Nancy came after you, and he didn't want to look like a coward. But in the finale, he stays behind. He does not run. He sacrifices himself, taking out a lot of bats along the way and giving more time for the plan to defeat Vecna to play out. He ends up dying in Dustin's arms. It is devastating, but hey, he didn't run this time. Number 4 on my list has to be 11. She's one of the best written characters in the show. She's been through so much shit in the show. She starts in season 1 as someone that we don't really know, a very mysterious girl that they find out in the woods. And then over the course of the seasons, we understand that she basically was a test subject for all these years, and with Dr. Brenner essentially torturing her for so long and having this mental hold over her. And then we feel for her as she tries to develop a normal life and fit in with the kids. It's always hard for her to fit in. And then in season 4, we see her getting bullied by Angela at school. People call her a freak and all these different things. And it's just such a gut punch because she doesn't deserve that, and it's just unfair of people to treat her like that. And then she gets captured again, so she's always put through the ringer, but she always has to be there to defend her friends. And I think a great way to end her arc in season 5 would be for Eleven to lose her powers and finally get a normal life that she's been looking for so long. I think that would be a very fitting way for Eleven's arc to end, or she ends up making the ultimate sacrifice and dying because she realizes she never is going to have that normal life. I think that's one of the 2 ways that Eleven is going to end up her arc. She's one of the most thoroughly written characters and easily one of the most well-developed characters in Stranger Things. Number 3 on my list is going to be Max Mayfield, who had a hell of a season 4 and was probably the MVP of the season, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. But the thing about Max is she was introduced in season 2. She was Mad Max, you know, the gamer who has the high score on the arcade. She's rough and tough. She doesn't really want to open up to people. And then she loses Billy in season 3, and we kind of learn more about her background. And in season 4, she's at her most vulnerable. We see her get taken by Vecna, and then she barely escapes. And she's essentially the main character of season 4. She has a lot of trauma from her past, especially the fact that she lost Billy in front of her eyes, and she just doesn't have the best background in general. But we see that she always cares about her friends, and her friends love her as well. The relationship with Lucas is outstanding, and it is such an emotional scene watching her run from Vecna as running up that hill plays in Dear Billy. Hell, it's the best sequence in all of Stranger Things probably, and seeing her essentially die in front of our eyes was literally a gut punch. I jumped. I was terrified for her. I felt scared deep down inside, and that's how you know a character is that well written, when you care so much when they're put in those perilous situations. Max is one of the best written characters in the show because she's improved every single season, and it's hard to predict her fate as we head into the final season. Only time will tell, I guess, but hey, she's still kicking it. Number 2 on my list is going to be Hopper. I think Hopper has one of the best journeys in all of Stranger Things. He starts out as the sheriff of this small town, basically like in Jaws when Chief Brody says, "In this town," as if nothing happened in Hawkins, Indiana, but then of course more and more starts to unfold, and every season something worse essentially seems to happen. Hopper's one of the most well-written characters because at first he just seems like the sheriff who doesn't want to do too much or get involved, but then we realize that he was married, he lost his daughter unfortunately, and then he ends up getting Eleven in season 2 and doesn't want to lose her too, and then he becomes a great father figure to her. He has a romantic relationship with Joyce that's always kind of hinted at, and then he dies essentially in season 3, and in season 4 he gets a second lease at life, and he comes back and he's questioning, you know, do I even deserve anything? I feel like I just am selfish and all these different things, when in reality people need him, and he kind of realizes that over the course of season 4. He has a beautiful reunion with Eleven that brought me to tears. He has a beautiful reunion with Joyce, and Hopper has just now come back and he realizes he needs to be there for those around him, and that's why I think Hopper could make the ultimate sacrifice in season 5 near the end for maybe Eleven to have the normal life she was living, because Hopper's already lost one daughter, so I doubt he would allow that to happen again. But at the same time, I want Hopper and Joyce to live happily ever after, so it's tough. But Hopper's had easily one of the best journeys in the show. But taking the top spot for best character arc / development in Stranger Things has to be Steve Harrington. In season 1, I still liked him even though he was a jerk to Nancy, but near the end of season 1 he has heroic moments and we kind of feel for him. In season 2, he's the MVP, we're rooting for him to get back with Nancy. He's given great advice to Steve and they have a cute little duo. He's protecting the kids, being the babysitter. And then in season 3, he's working with Robin at Scoops Ahoy, and they're a hell of a duo. The way he just befriends her and we think they're going to be a romantic thing. And then Robin comes out to Steve and that just strengthens their bond even more. And in season 4, he doesn't have the most to do, but we get to see that soft side of Steve Harrington. You know, I want this family with 6 little nuggets, and he wants to go on this trip every year in a big RV. And it's just like, we really know this guy now. He's the one character that I feel like I've grown with the most. Steve is always someone I kind of viewed as an older brother throughout the course of the show, and I just want the best for him. I want him to be happy. And Steve has such a phenomenal arc because now I am so terrified for his fate. I want him to be safe. At the end of season 4, episode 6, I was screaming at the TV hoping that he was alive, and he's easily got the best arc and development each season, so I can't wait to see where he ends up in season 5. I hope that he has a happy ending. Protect Steve. But that's going to do it for my top 10 favorite arcs or character developments in Stranger Things. Let me know yours in the comments down below and make sure to hit that like button. Also, feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I have lots of Stranger Things videos and shorts here on the channel, as well as MCU content and movie content in general, so feel free to check all that out. But thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.